It doesn't hit you how far you are from home until you spend 11 hours without land, and then meet it again. Upon seeing the eyes of the cities gaze back, I can only imagine how it feels to fly among the stars. The multicolored lights broken on a rainy runway sing like a wailing saxophone. While LA sleeps, I'm awake with Tokyo. One week later, I find myself back home. My trip has been memorable, no doubt, but it's already starting to blur. I say these words now, 1 month after writing them, and since then my memory has blurred even further. This is an attempt to hold on to as many of these fragments as I can. My main mode of transportation from city to city was by tour bus. Naturally, over the course of the week, I grew accustomed to seeing the other passengers day in and day out. But if it weren't for photos and video, they would all be a passing thought, like the thousands of people we pass by daily. Instead, their faces are preserved in memory. The strongest first impression of Japan was the level of independence and safety I felt in our 2 nights at Oda. It's almost 3 here, June 9th. And I'm still not asleep. I probably should be, but since it's my last night here in Oda, I think it's worth it. So it's raining out. Not hard enough where you can actually hear it, but enough so you could see the little droplets shimmering in the light of the streets. Surprisingly, it's pretty quiet out. Last night was pretty busy, with people walking around and talking. I was walking just earlier, and the streets are still lively. My nights in Japan were punctuated by staying up late. It is now 5 a.m. on the 9th still, and I didn't sleep at all last night. By choice though, just spent the night relaxing, taking a bath, eating, talking with a friend. Sometimes I would journal or work on poetry and music that I started during the daytime bus rides. On other nights I ventured off on my own. Riding on the subway for the first time was pretty fun actually. It's really busy down there and everything works like clockwork. It was intimidating to go off by myself at first, but the Pasmo subway card became my freedom throughout the nights in Kyoto and Shinjuku. I'm sad that I wasn't able to keep it, not to mention the fact that I forgot to take a picture of it too. I don't even remember what it looks like anymore. It's kind of a chilly night here in Shinjuku. It's the 13th of June at 1 a.m. and this is our last night in Japan. I spent it wandering around on Yasukuni-dore, a street that just doesn't sleep. The last memory I have of nighttime, my favorite time of the day, is in a jazz bar called the New Doug. It's a little bittersweet actually, to think that I'm going home so soon. The multi-directional crosswalk in Shinjuku reminded me a lot of the famous one in Shibuya that we saw on the 9th. Afterwards we headed down to Tower Records, and I'm surprised that Japan still has record shops.
My first Japanese record shop?
It's huge, it's like 4 or 5 stories, maybe even more. I thought it was only 1 floor, but then I asked them for Trico CDs, and they directed me to the 3rd floor. We headed to Toho Cinemas. It's probably not Toho headquarters where they make Godzilla and all that stuff, but it was pretty interesting to see a movie theater there. There was also a Toho cinema in Shinjuku too. Speaking of movies, on that last day we headed to the National Film Archive. As an aspiring filmmaker, this was very much a pilgrimage of sorts. To see the original scripts and posters for Tokyo Story and Rashomon legitimately gave me goosebumps. Being able to soak up the information was like a private lesson with the old masters. Tomorrow we're headed off to Mount Fuji. Match. Misty green sunshine, surely kaleidoscopic, for my eyes to see. It's 4 a.m. on the 10th, and I just woke up and headed up to the observatory to try to look at Mount Fuji at sunrise, but just like yesterday, it was obscured by clouds and mist and a light drizzle. I think the general ambiance was nice though, so I spent a couple minutes up there just looking out. And I guess I'm just sitting here in the hotel room in a moment of introspection. I'm both at ease, but I feel like there's more to do. But then again, there always is. I think there's a lot of things I'll remember about Japan. Through this recollection, I just hope to do the memories justice and not forget.